Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Deb C, and pleased to be, it's Deb C. Bloop, that's me. Boop, Deb C. Hey guys, happy Monday. Yes, listen, I'm saying happy Monday. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend and is having a great day. However, you're going to see this shirt multiple times because I am actually pre-filming this on Sunday. And you're seeing it on Monday. I am in the middle of a record-a-palooza. I got all kind of balls up in the air. I got balls in the air today. I am recording a bunch of videos for what I'm going to talk about today, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I am doing Sunday cleaning. I am binging a show that's going to be premiering its second season on Bravo tomorrow, the McBee Dynasty, which that's a trash heap from start to finish. So we got a lot of stuff going. So let's talk about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. This is season 2, episode 9, The Book of Reckoning. Okay. So this is the episode where Jesse puts together a girls trip for New Orleans. I'm going to tell you, I love New Orleans. Is probably my second favorite city in the United States. Only second to New York City. Love New Orleans. So, okay, that's further down the road. We start off the episode with Macy visits Jesse. She brings over some homemade cookies. Jesse's talking about some medical issues that she has. So she's going to be having surgery on her lymph nodes, on her throat. When the show came out last season, she said that quite a few nurses had seen the episodes, had reached out to her and had said, hey, listen, you might want to get your thyroid checked. It looks like you might have an enlarged thyroid. She went in, got checked. Turns out she had like 7 nodules. She had 6 on one side and 1 on the other. So she's going to be getting a partial part of her thyroid removed. And they're not going to be able to tell her like right then and there whether it's cancer. They're going to be able to tell her that like afterwards. And this right here, these medical issues she's having is putting things in perspective. Like, this drama and mom talk, really, it's something that I need to get figured out, and I need to get it resolved before I move on to what really matters, and that's my health. So she's talking about the trip to New Orleans, and with this trip, they're worried about how it's going to be with Demi and Taylor, but Jessie on her front with Demi, on her problems with Demi, she does want to talk to Demi about the hair comment that was brought up at Sinners and Saints, because she hasn't talked to Demi since. Okay, so the ladies arrive in New Orleans without Taylor or Jen. Demi thinks Taylor is not going because she is in avoidance. She wants to avoid talking about things, and she says she should be afraid of me. She's not, listen, it's not that she's not afraid of you. She's going because she wants to protect her mental well-being. And I'm fully on board with that. She says that, and Layla is then kind of like saying off camera, she's feeling bad that she didn't have Taylor's back. She's feeling bad about it, and now she's feeling even worse because it was like it was a really low blow to bring the child into it, to bring Ever into it. That was not necessary. You should feel bad, Layla, because you said that you were going to stick up for her, but Layla's just a follower. That was disappointing. And by the looks on Macy and Michaela's faces, I think they've had enough of Demi. They arrive in New Orleans to the house. That house is perfectly New Orleans. Absolutely perfect. As is the food. Demi got this chef, this personal chef. She made all of this amazing New Orleans coded food. That cuisine and that food was 100% wasted on those ladies. You got some good fried chicken and you're getting up with the grilled chicken and the zucchini. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but she had did she not have, I should think she had gumbo or jambalaya. She had those shrimps. Did she also have lobster mac and cheese? She might have had cornbread. I tell you, I would put my foot all the way in the shrimp, the jambalaya or gumbo, the cornbread. Oh, right up in there. Because New Orleans and Southern food is my favorite kind of food. 100% my favorite kind of food. My favorite cuisine. So Macy is really biding her time and waiting for the right time to tell the ladies about her pregnancy. What's worrying her is bringing it up when she knows that Demi is she's struggling with infertility. All the ladies are eating and someone says, oh, did you see Jen's video? So Jen sends a video to all the ladies and she says, I'm just coming out of therapy right now. She opens up about her mental health struggles and her pregnancy and how she's not there because she needs to prioritize her health and her baby's health. And she apologizes. The reactions to that are mostly what I would expect. Layla opens up and says that she's had her own mental health struggles. She's gonna give her some grace. Same thing with Jessie. Jessie was like, I know that we've had issues, but once again, I'm gonna give her some grace. Miranda speaks up and says that Jen did tell her that she really feels badly about how she treated Jessie, and Jessie's like, listen, I'm willing to talk to her. I mean, if she apologizes, she's obviously apologized. She's going through some tough times. I'm gonna just give her some grace. Well, the whole time, you know that Demi is smirking the whole time. Anybody else knows that? I noticed that she was smirking the whole time. It's no surprise to me that Demi's not accepting this. She's giving her no grace at all. She's like, I think it's so weird when people cry on camera. You cried on camera. I mean, you have done it. When you opened up about your infertility issues, you cried. Nobody thought it was weird. This is just Jen being genuine and sharing with people who she thinks are her friends, and sharing and being emotional and being open and being genuine and raw and hoping that people were going to give her grace and understand, because she would probably do the same for others. She's being real. And Demi is using that against her. And I completely agree with Macy when she says that there's very few people in Mom Talk that I would open up to, because what they're going to do is you're going to open up, you're going to be genuine, you're going to be you're going to put yourself, you're going to open up, you're going to show flaws. There's going to be people who are going to hear that. They're going to catalog those flaws, and catalog you being like raw and open. And they're going to take that, they're going to catalog it in their mind, and they're going to use it in a later argument against you. They're going to weaponize that against you. And that's shitty. And I completely agree with her. That's not what mom talk is supposed to be. Okay, so the ladies get changed. They go to a burlesque show. The ladies were like, I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting that either. And Layla, if I were her, I would bleach my lips probably, because when that lady pulled that joint out of her coochie and then Layla smoked it, and I was like, I would have straight off either bleached my lips or I would have bleached my lips. I wouldn't have cut them off. I would have bleached my lips. No. No. Okay. So back in Utah, Taylor goes over and visits her mom and sister. Listen, I'm going to tell you what, if it was me, would I rather go traveling to another city, or would I just rather stay in and work on a puzzle? I would probably rather stay home and work on a puzzle. I'm sorry, I'm more of a homebody. So she goes over to visit her mom and sister. She's really in a low place and a vulnerable, dark place after Demi had come at her at the Saints and Sinners party and had come after her and brought up one of her like lowest points. And that was in the first season when there was that domestic dispute between her and Dakota and the cops were called. That was one of her lowest points. So of course, like Macy said, she takes your lowest point and then she remembers that and then she brings it up at a later point. And listen, Leanne, I don't know who said it. I think it was Leanne. She's a bully. Demi is a bully because now she's trying to get all of the other ladies against Taylor. Like, she's like, this is a garbage individual. Do you look at what happened to her before? Look at how it's going to affect her child and her children. Do you want that leading mom talk? And she's also seeing she's in a low point because nobody's really sticking up for her. In private and off, in confessional, people were like, that was a low blow. That wasn't right that she did that. But nobody said anything. It's the same thing with like when Layla showed that group chat and, Demi was saying stuff, was talking shit on her, and Jesse had said something about her. And the others just sat there and didn't defend her. At least they didn't show that. I thought that was shitty. I would feel all alone myself. She also talks about Dakota. And she's like, listen, I was trying to tell you guys all along. I knew all along that I shouldn't be with Dakota. I was trying to tell you guys all along that I shouldn't be with him. So thankfully now her parents are with her on the decision. Her sister had been with her on the decision from day one, but her mother, her father, her brother, they were all like, give him some grace and you got to work it out. But she knew all along, this isn't working for me. Thankfully, her parents aren't pushing it. Her mother is not pushing her into it. Okay, so back in New Orleans, Layla asks Demi, hey, listen, point blank, are you ever going to be friends with Taylor? I could have answered this question. The answer was no. She says because she can't take ability and she doesn't have the emotional maturity to have a meaningful relationship. Oh, like you do with Jesse, who you backstabbed twice now. Twice. Okay. So my question is, how is it that all of a sudden, Whitney is like, that wasn't even just my question. I think it was maybe Michaela. Someone had asked, how are you all of a sudden friends now with Whitney? When in the past she was against Whitney. And she was like, I think she said something like, well, the thing is, Whitney's past or her decisions aren't affecting mom talk. But they did last year. And if you're saying that Taylor is such a terrible friend, what about what Whitney did last year whenever Macy really wanted her to go to her launch for baby mama and she wasn't there because nobody else wanted her there, but Macy wanted her there. That's the most important thing. Or when she went to her friend Michaela's birthday party, didn't talk to Michaela, went over, apologized to Macy, and then left. Is she a good friend? And Denise also twisted the knife more on Taylor just to hopefully get more women on her side, to get more women on her side. But I don't know that it's working. I feel like Michaela, at least Michaela and Macy are like, I'm tired of this. And Layla is coming around also. Okay, so next morning they wake up. This is quite possibly the absolute worst game I've ever heard. Who the fuck plays pregnancy roulette? I've never even heard of that. So Layla has missed her period. And she's like, who wants to play pregnancy roulette? Everybody take a pregnancy test, a pregnancy stick, piss on it, put it in a bowl, and then we all pick, and then everybody picks up a random piss stick that, did I mention they all peed on it? And you have to pick up somebody's pregnancy test that someone peed on, that you have to, listen, Whitney would be okay with it because remember, Whitney last year was the one who unveiled her being pregnant by putting her pregnancy test that had urine on it in the middle of a cake. And there was only one person that thought it was disgusting. I think it was like our sister was like, the fuck are you doing? Putting some urine stick, some stick that is soaked in your urine on a cake and we're supposed to eat it? Ugh. Listen, this is the absolute worst. So they all are like, okay, well, we'll do it. So Macy is like, shit. I didn't want to tell anybody, but fuck, now it's going to come out that somebody's pregnant. So they take the pregnancy stick, pregnancy test, they throw it in a bowl, and then everybody randomly picks up a pregnancy test soaked in somebody else's urine. I didn't even want to pick it up if it's soaked in my urine. Okay, this is so dumb because who's going to know? It's random. How are you going to know who's pregnant? Like, Layla was like, I missed my period. So how's this going to tell you if you're pregnant? You don't even know if it's yours because it's not like they wrote the name on it. It's so dumb. There have been a lot of dumb games. This is by far the most idiotic, most moronic game. So as it turns out, there's two women who are pregnant. We know one is Macy. I'm going to tell you, as much as I don't like Demi, I think this was a terrible idea because she has these infertility issues. I think it's a terrible idea. There's no way that this can go well. So it's a terrible idea because here she is, Demi's pregnant or is upset and she's triggered. And then the women who are pregnant, they should be happy about this. But instead, here they are feeling guilty. And Macy is like, I almost feel shame that I'm pregnant. I mean, ugh, that was bad. It was terrible. What time is it? Okay. It was terrible. It was a terrible idea all the way around. Here's the thing. Jesse's a good friend, because after all this shit, after these 2 times that Demi like backstabbed her, what did Jesse do? Jesse's there, comforting Demi. So no. The 2 besties, Michaela and Macy, they're rooming together. And we find out who is the second person that's pregnant. Oh, and it's Michaela. Michaela is also pregnant. I absolutely love this, that the 2 best friends are pregnant at the same time. Like, Michaela is a little further along than Macy. I love this. And then we find out later that both of the women are having girls. And this is the best part of the whole episode, maybe even like the whole series of this season. I'm so happy. So they go over to Demi's room and they tell Demi and Jesse that they're pregnant. And Demi was like, oh, great. Off camera, she's like, well, now I feel like an asshole for making this about myself. Okay, so back in Provo, Utah, it's decision time with Dakota, like the ultimatum decision time. And Taylor was conflicted about, because she said that the church really says that they should be together, but she has to think about like what's best for her kids and for her mental well-being, her mental health. She does love him, but also he triggers her. Like, he triggers the lack of trust issues. He triggers her. So that takes her back to like this dark place. So she does break it off for him. I think that's the best. I've said it before. I think she should take some time to, what's up with this hair? She should take some time to be on her own and just work on her trust issues. That's what I think. Okay, back in NOLA, there is some sightseeing. I love that town. They go to Cafe du Monde, which is by the French Market. It's right by the Mississippi River. They have beignets. I don't know if they have the coffee with the chicory. That's the only thing I was not a fan of, was the coffee with chicory. But the beignets, powdered sugar, delicious. 1,000 out of 10. So then they go off and they do a little shopping. Jessie talks to Demi about her comments about her hair, about Jay-Z styles. So they talk about like the call between Demi and Taylor. And Demi says that she never said Jay-Z can't do color. And Jessie says that Taylor was gonna go to Jay-Z, but then Demi said don't, so she didn't. So she lost out on some income. Now here's the thing. Demi says she never said Jay-Z can't do color. But she obviously said something. She obviously said something maybe derogatory about Jay-Z styles. So Jessie's getting upset because she does like so much for everyone. And she feels shit on. Like, she's always like, I do everybody's hair for free. And when we go on a trip, I do everybody's hair. And I'm always there for everybody, but nobody's there for me. And you're just shitting on my business. Demi says, I didn't shit on your business though, but it feels that way. To Jesse, it feels that way. And Denise says, oh, I hear you. But I'm thinking, does she? Because when Jesse's talking, to me, it doesn't look like she's listening. To me, it looks like she's playing out what she's going to say next. And that's just what she does, because after Jesse's done, Demi then places the blame on Taylor. So how is it that you're saying Taylor can't take accountability, but are you saying you can? Because if you can, then why would you place the blame on Taylor? And Demi says, I never said if you go to Jay-Z, plan to cry. And it was never said in that way. Do you see what I mean? So it was never said in that way. So you said something, but it was never said in that way. No. No. You were busted on that. So after all this discussion, Jessie just feels worse. She feels betrayed. And she's going to put up a wall right now for Demi. She's wondering, is the cancer of the group, in fact, not Taylor, but Demi? So, listen, they're sitting around a little bit later on. They're having a chat about the young women group. So they were doing like this, not this chant, but like this vow and this pledge. And it was like a vow or a pledge that you say during Mormon, it's called Young Women, like a Young Women meeting. Layla's face, that was my face. Like, I was like, wait, what? In my mind, I was like, this sounds like a cult. I think it was maybe Jesse who was like, when you say it out, it kind of sounds like a cult. It kind of does. This is the craziness. This is the craziness about that religion. So I could never join it because, number one, you can't drink coffee, you can't have caffeine, and you can't ever have a glass of wine. But here's the thing. It seems to be very much stacked against the women. The women don't have a lot of power. Like, without the men, the women ain't shit. That's what it seems like to me. And what you have to do, you have to actually, in order for you to be able to go to the temple, you have to have an interview with a bishop in order to be able to go to the temple. In my mind, church should be for everyone. Like, anybody can go into church and pray or go to mass. Or, I don't think you should have to jump through hoops and impress somebody to go to church. I think that's insane. I think that's crazy. The other thing is because Jessie was saying her ceiling to her ex-husband has not been broken. So if you get divorced and you don't get your ceiling broke, or your marriage, the ceiling is the marriage. If you don't get the ceiling broke with your ex-husband, your ex-spouse, then you're still married in the eyes of the church. And if you die, like, let's say you remarry and you die, then your soul is going to spend all of eternity with your ex-husband, not your current husband. That's nuts. That's nuts. So Miranda's talking, and Miranda's like, well, when Chase, that's her ex-husband, when Chase left the church, he removed his records. So now Miranda isn't sealed to her own kids. But here's the thing. Men can have multiple partners. I think this is shitty. I think that is so shitty. I could never. And during this whole thing, it seems like Demi is like very holier than thou about all of this. Like, why does Demi care? Because Layla's like, oh yes, I want to go to the temple. If I were to marry Cam, I would want to go to the temple because it's important to him. Yes. Why would Demi? Because Demi was like, really? You would want to go to the temple? What? It's important to him. So if it's important to him, then it's important to her. I hate that. When she gets all holier than thou and she tries to pretend like she's like Mormon 10, like she's like the most upstanding Mormon of all time. But then in the past, she's had her times, her moments when she was like doing things that the church probably wouldn't approve of. Okay, so they have dinner last night. They go to dinner at the Boutique du Vampire's Apothecary. These ladies, I don't know who they were, what they were dressed up for, but who dresses Whitney? Ugh. Okay, so talk turns to Demi's Christmas party she's going to be having. Who's going to be invited? Well, she says really only those who deserve to be there will be there. So I guess that means like not Taylor. And the question, I guess Demi asks a question, does Taylor deserve to be here? And she says, well, her being in Mom Talk is jeopardizing the health of Mom Talk and my business. What is your business? Your business is Mom Talk. So, okay, why don't you make your own videos? Or if anything, it's bringing more eyes to Mom Talk. That's how I feel. It's bringing more. Listen, I said it before. Taylor started Mom Talk. So she started Mom Talk. As much as you might not like the swinging scandal, that actually brought more eyes to Mom Talk, and it got the attention of Hulu. You ladies are now in your second season of a wildly successful show called Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. If it wasn't for Taylor Frankie Paul, you wouldn't have this. Point blank, period, end of story. Demi's really complaining hard on this. And Jesse was kind of like, it seemed like she was a little bit on Demi's side. Like Jesse says yes. And I thought, oh, come on, don't. Okay. And then Demi just comes right out and she's like, listen, if Taylor's in, then I'm out. And the ladies were like, what are you talking about? Okay, I would have said, bye, bitch, goodbye. And Michaela has a good point because she has a problem with Whitney. Michaela has a problem with Whitney, but she's coexisting. She's not leaving. And this is where Demi says that, well, Whitney's issues aren't affecting the group. Well, not now they weren't, but in the past they were. Like last season, whenever she just left the group, that was affecting people. And earlier in the episode, Michaela was like, Whitney's here, and that could affect me, but I'm not, saying don't come. I'm dealing with it. Taylor, you're acting like Taylor being here would upset everybody, but Taylor being here would only upset you. And like I said, last season, Whitney did affect everybody. So what's the difference? Miranda then is like, listen, Mom Talk's supposed to be about friendships. And she has a good point. Like, how many adult friendships actually vote people out? That is high school. That's high school. That's not grown. When you're grown, I'm 57. If I'm in a friend group and somebody wants to vote me out, that's telling me I shouldn't be in that friend group because it's shitty. And it's not, listen, Demi says it's not like I need a spotlight on myself, but it is. It really is, because you're saying this after the CMAs and the brand deal in New York City. So you're jealous. You want the spotlight. Let's just say that. So finally, Layla speaks up. I couldn't believe it, but she finally spoke up. And so I have this written here. So what you said about Jesse's business was okay to me because you weren't her bestie at the time. She was like, well, we were going through some things and we weren't besties at the time. Friends are friends. I don't think whether you're best friends or if you're just friends, you shouldn't do that to a friend. Demi's power hungry. That's apparent. And if she's willing to do this to her best friend, who else is she going to do that to get to the top is my question. Okay, so listen, in the comments, let me know what you thought. If nobody told you yet today, you were loved, seen, and heard, please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world so it comes back at you. Please take care of one another. Also, kindness is free. Put it out there in the world so it comes back at you. Number 1, be aware of your surroundings. 2, be smart and safe. Let's hydrate with some water. I have some tea. That's lemon. That's lemon zinger. And number 4, if you're in a dangerous situation, know that Dolly and I are sending our love, thoughts, prayers, and positive energy your way so you make it through. Love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Bye.